I'm Wade.
I'm Mysterious.
And I'm Vanessa.
And that's Travis. And we are late to the party, and it's our Halloween edition of
Better Late Than Never. Happy Halloween!
It's finally here, and yeah, we lazily put on our costumes.
Apparently mine wasn't good enough because you knew who I was the whole time.
Getting all eyes wide shut on us, eh, Wade?
Exactly.
And Vanessa just, she'll eat your heart out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But we've got one final reaction for Better Late Than Never, brought to us by Wade Stai, Emmy Award winning writer, director, stuntman advisor, Wade Stai, putting out his new film, Friday Night Frights. I was going to say short film.
No,
You've done that.
No, it is new feature.
Now you're
Shirts
moving
and all.
on.
That's how you know it's legit.
Yeah.
And we are excited for that. Stay tuned for a trailer for that at the very end of this video. But Wade, where are you taking us in this final episode of October?
It is Halloween, and there is no better place to spend Halloween than at the video store. Mm-hmm. And then the mall.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
You're really taking us back to the 80s, aren't you?
70s on this bad boy.
79 or 78?
September 1st, 1978.
Yes.
There we go.
Yep. This is the sequel to Night of the Living Dead, prequel to Day of the Dead, and yeah, is by far one of the classic zombie movies ever made.
Of all time.
Ever, yes.
Directed by horror master George Romero.
Correct, with awesome low-budget zombie effects by a very early, very young Tom Savini.
It cost $1.5 million to make.
Yes, which was partially produced by Dario Argento.
Really?
Yep.
Suspiria, I know that name.
Yeah. Off of the budget, it ended up making $55 million at the box office, but becoming a global cult classic afterwards.
Correct.
In fact, becoming like the cream of the crop when it comes to zombie movies.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
outdoing the original completely.
And this film also has the, I don't know, bad luck of being an unrated film, and that actually affected its box office. So imagine what it would have been had it been rated R, but because it was unrated, it was treated with the same marketing restrictions they reserve for porn movies at the time. And so certain theaters and certain chains would not run it.
So really it was your choice between Dawn of the Dead or Deep Throat.
Exactly.
Debbie Does Dallas indeed. So, Vanessa, Dawn of the Dead is actually a well-known film in our household, therefore got a remake with Zack Snyder at the helm.
I don't want to know if she's done it yet until she sees the trailer.
But that's the thing, is she knows that Dawn of the Dead is definitely one that we are fans of when it comes to the newer version. But
True.
Have you seen the older version?
I have not seen the older.
So this is going into this reaction of Vanessa watching for the first time the original aspects of Dawn of the Dead before Zack Snyder's version. So let's get into that one now. I want her to compare.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time. Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all times.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill. This situation must be controlled before it's too late. They are multiplying too rapidly.
Dawn of the Dead.
Meet me on the roof at 9 o'clock. Get out.
We're gonna get out in the chopper. We've got to survive. Somebody's got to survive.
They kill for
Listen to
one
Flyboy.
reason. They kill for food. They eat their victims.
Love this guy.
Imagine, if you will, that something has gone terribly wrong. Now,
So much imagery just taken straight from this for The Walking Dead. They've just lifted so much from this film.
Right?
George Romero brings back the dead. Night of the Living Dead has ended. Dawn of the Dead is here.
You must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotions.
Operated dead.
They're animals.
Pulls the bat. They never get out of the room. It's everywhere. What the hell?
Roger.
Looks like a shopping center. One of those big indoor malls.
I love that the concept of a mall was a novel when this came out.
Kind of instinct.
Yeah.
What they used to do.
Some sort of slapping
was an
center.
important place in their lives.
Click.
Afraid.
We have spawned our own savagery. Soon it will
Rebels.
consume us all.
That shot's so
Ah!
good. That shot is so good, and it's out of
Yeah,
focus, and it's always
I
been such a
know.
killer for me.
Just take her jewelry.
Yeah.
Excesses of a society gone mad.
You never know.
Spoiler alert.
Ah, huge spoiler.
Huge spoiler.
Ah, huge.
The dead will walk the earth.
We are down to the line, folks. We are down to the line.
Off camera.
Of the dead.
Dawn of the Dead,
I
indeed.
love how they had to have the disclaimer.
Yep.
All right.
So Vanessa, in comparison to the Dawn of the Dead that we know very well, what do you think of this trailer?
So this trailer, I mean, you can kind of see some of the similarities between what Zack Snyder took from, you know, the original from this. Obviously, the mall, having the characters in the mall, but this has a different, unique style because it's the first one that came out, and then the practicality of the zombies in this one versus the way that they shot them in the remake or
The Zack Snyder
Snyder's
version.
Yeah.
Now, seeing that, being a huge fan of the Zack Snyder version and then watching this one, it takes about 40 minutes before, like 38 minutes before they actually get to the mall versus Zack Snyder's. Well, they get there fairly quick and the whole movie takes place there. What I love about this movie, and that they kind of show you in the beginning of this trailer, which does hint at as to the narrative of what the film does, is that it's about the crushing fall of society within the realm of a zombie apocalypse. And how one by one they all fall and surrender to their most primal instincts.
But that's the one thing I do love about this movie that a lot of zombie movies never get right or they don't touch on is the chaos surrounding the collapse of society. And the thing that really is striking is the first 15 minutes of this movie is still some of the best filmmaking. The TV station falling apart and the last panic broadcast stuff that's going on in the opening of this movie.
Our responsibility is finished.
Especially coming off a Night of the Living Dead where we've got everything under control. We're going to get them all. And, aside from the societal, the social overtones of the end of Night of the Living Dead, things are under control. Right. We're going to be good. And then all of a sudden this opens up and you realize that shit has gone sideways in a spectacular way. And it completely puts you off guard. To the point where this TV station is in complete chaos and it's breaking down and they're having these panic broadcasts. Nobody knows what's going on. Information is, at a complete breakdown. And it's terrifying because it seems so real. And working in TV and working in a TV station, it's easy to see how quickly this could go off the rails.
And you have a responsibility as a functioning human in society, and you even see that here where they go to the end of their rope of being able to still function within the society constructs, and then eventually when you throw it away. Mm-hmm. And that happens at the TV station where one of the camera operators is like, we've given our responsibility, we've done our duty, later. And they dip out, and then the cop, he's like, get over here and arrest them. And the cop's like,
nope.
Later.
Cop just grabs his jacket and walks
over.
out. Yeah.
The two guys, the two SWAT members that are the main characters within, I would say there's 4 main characters in this film. 2 of them are SWAT team members, or at least some that are going out there to try and maintain control, who say, F it. We're done. We're going on our own.
It's this panic point where everyone is just running for their lives.
Yeah.
There's nowhere that's safe, and they wind up holing up in a shopping mall, which is the monument of consumerism circa 1979 and even through the 80s. Everyone went to the mall. Everyone loved the mall. But I love that it's still a novel concept when this movie came out, that they have to oh, what is that? I know.
I actually remember reading once that George Romero said he was in a mall somewhere and that's where he kind of got the idea of this movie. It's because, dude, we could live here forever if something happened.
But the funny thing on the sidebar of that is I managed a record store in a mall for 4 years, and I can tell you right now.
A record what now?
A record store, yes.
Those things are back. Everyone knows what vinyl is.
Yeah, it's had a resurgence.
But they, people show up to the mall with no shopping agenda, and they literally walk around, and the mall walkers and stuff in the morning, it is like Dawn of the Dead. You get there in the morning, and there's people just shuffling through the mall.
Yeah.
And
blank stairs,
We have seen the resurgence, too, of that mentality of the mall as well, more recently in our Stranger Things reactions that we did to Stranger Things 3. So it is kind of having a resurgence in pop culture.
A little bit. It's just more so of coming back and feeling the nostalgia of what the mall is. I mean, we still have malls here, but at the same time, with the height of online shopping and people not really going out and buying it at a store.
Brick and mortar.
Brick and Morty, Brick and Morty.
Brick and Morty. I love that show.
Nobody gets this on
They should just have an episode. Okay, side note. They should just have an episode where Rick is just a brick. Anyways.
Rick the Brick.
Brick and the Rick!
But brick and mortar store instead of going, just buying it online. So
and then the idea also that anything in this world, any material item in this world still has value. So when part of the way through, when raiders show up to the mall, which is something they really didn't touch on in the remake, was the raiders coming in, looting and pillaging everything they can. None of it matters. None of it has value. But these guys still think that there's some value in the jewelry or in the money. And it's just this really interesting look at the different aspects of society and how it reflects on all the different characters as the world's falling apart around them.
Right, and it kind of makes you think, like, if this really did happen in this situation now, do you think that I feel like there would be people out there that say, oh, well, this thing is happening while people are distracted with what's going on in society, I'm going to take advantage of it.
And, we've seen that happen nowadays.
Take all of this stuff, but at the same time, it's like, who knows if, we will be able to come to a society that is, if you have this stuff, then you can build off of it, whereas everybody's pretty much fucked.
Yeah, there's even a point in the movie where they're like, you never know, and they still take the money. When the guys first get into the mall, they're like, well, you never know. Like, it might still have worth after this, so why not take it while we can?
I love how the characters devolve, though. They arrive and they're super excited. They've got this awesome safety net. It's a perfect place for them to hole up. But then as time goes on, it just becomes a routine and it becomes boring and it becomes like everyday mundane life. And then it's like, holy shit.
I watched the TV show The Mist.
Oh, yeah.
I hated the movie, but I would watch the show. And then the show, they were stuck in the mall. Mm-hmm. So it created that same dynamic of what the Dawn of the Dead was doing, where it was kind of back and forth. What I specifically like about Dawn of the Dead is the special effects, the makeup. You look at the zombies like on Dead. I don't even watch the show. I stopped after season 2. On how they look now, they kind of look over the top, but even them, they're so simplistic and more, I think, relatable, more realistic, almost in my opinion.
Right.
Because they're just now becoming the living dead.
The difference that I think in between the two also is that you look at The Walking Dead and there's these elaborate makeups and they're super rotting. The thing that's scary about the zombies in this, no matter how simplified the makeup is, it's terrifying when you could recognize your family member or your loved one. Like the scene in the trailer when she's hugging her husband, he's dead, and that effect is still horrifying when he takes the bite out of her neck.
Yes.
It's still one of the best practical effects. It's just amazing.
Tom Savini, he's the one responsible for the special effects and the makeup.
Yeah.
He was originally supposed to do it on the original of the Dead movie, but I guess he got drafted.
He got drafted and had to go to Vietnam.
Do it. Yep. But I think he's done fantastic work in this movie and in his later career.
And it's funny because this kind of initiated, I mean, I know he was in one movie before this with George Romero, but when it comes to this one, like, he really kind of implemented again. This is where we see Tom Savini on screen once again, and it's like, that's where it happened. You see Tom Savini in so many films, whether it's Tarantino or it's Romero, Savini will pop up as a character, whether it's over-the-top, crazy, up in your forefront type character like Sex Machine, or it's something more so in the background, like he is a zombie in Land of the Dead, and is even kicking ass as himself.
And he's his character from Dawn of the Dead.
From Dawn of the Dead. So the fact that they keep him in as these cameos, and Savini is a big part of this, at least when it comes to the rebels, the renegades, those that come in and start messing up the store. But that kind of implemented that whole, so Savini's in this, and here we go again.
Yeah.
I will say, going back to not this movie, but the Zack Snyder one, the only thing that really kind of is just that wasn't believable was the fact that they had the dog go over to the gun store, and it's like, come on, I feel like zombies would attack animals.
No, they talk about that here, that they're not. Yeah. It's about the heat and the blood, and that's where they go into these primal instincts and start eating you. It doesn't matter what you are, they're going to do it.
Yeah, and it is amazing though when you watch this movie and you go back and look at this. I mean, there are shots, scenes, everything that are lifted directly, and they've used in The Walking Dead over the course of the seasons that have gone on. I mean, and Robert Kirkman has flat out said that series would not exist were it not for the Romero movies.
100%.
You know?
Now, and when you watch, awesome that Greg Nicotero is also a part of it.
Yeah. Right. The legacy lives on, and he became a director and producer and creator from being an assistant to Tom Savini. Yep. So a huge growth to him in the world of the dead. So
I mean, his film education was 100%. Romero films. I mean, he came up on those sets.
And when it comes down to the music aspects of this is where the Dawn of the Dead ends up taking like a weird turn for me. It is very weird when it comes to the music. Yes. There is some silly tracks.
Yes.
There are some brooding tracks. You know that song in Monty Python and the Holy Grail in the intro where they change it up and it's like the very epic doo 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 doo. That is in the portion when the rebels are attacking the mall. Like, it is so randomly thrown together. There's like carnival type music at points. Like, it is all over the place. It's like, do I take it serious? Am I supposed to have fun? And I think that kind of embodies the culture that did go watch these types of movies, that still watch these types of movies. It's like, I'm not there to be enthralled and blown away. I'm there to have fun and watch this movie. And you could see all those elements from beginning to end, whether it's the cinematography, the characters, the dialogue, or the music in this film.
And this is one of those movies too that's weird because it has like 4 different cuts. So there's the theatrical cut, there is a US extended cut, there's Dario Argento's cut, because he was one of the producers, and each one changes the tonality of the movie. But Argento again is felt because the soundtrack, as you brought up, was by Goblin, who was this Italian prog rock group who has scored 1 million movies. But Romero loves to use library tracks and loves to use stock music. So a lot of the music in his movies are these stock tracks that you could just get off of a library.
Fair use site nowadays.
Well, so tell me, we've gone through all these movies in October. This is Halloween here.
It is.
You've brought us a fantastic plethora of horror movies. Stuff that I haven't even heard of.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I know you're making your independent film here. How has Shadoworks worked into all of these movies that you've showed us?
Okay, so a lot of these have the independent production background, and there was subconscious actually when I was picking them. But it really is, most of the horror movies, most of the best horror movies that I loved when I was younger and to this day still, are these independent movies that were made by fans and hardcore people who are just passionate about filmmaking and going out there and doing it. No matter what, if there's no money, I don't care. We're going to go do it anyway. And that's the thing. And with this movie, I've been working on this movie for a while now, and I've said from the beginning, I will drag it kicking and screaming into reality from thin air if I have to. And so, it's Halloween. The movie is set the night before Halloween. It's Friday night, Friday, October 30th. And it's all set in a video store on this Friday night. They have a video rental special, which they call Friday Night Frights. So there's your tie-in for that.
So it's not just a clever name.
No, and I should have brought the banner. I've got the video store banner.
We'll put an image of Friday Night Frights up now so they can see it.
But and it's a 5-part anthology, very much inspired by a lot of the directors and a lot of the movies that that we've talked about here and that you've seen, and it was really the desire to give people an experience of what it was like to be able to go rent movies in the days before Redbox and before streaming, when you actually met up with your friends, got a pizza, went to the video store,
and had to hang out there and wait for the new release to come out because everyone had it checked out. So
exactly. Or you go in there and you come out with a stack of movies. And I think the other thing too is back then you paid money to watch this videotape.
Right.
I think the disposable film watching culture now is a huge problem because you're streaming it, you're not paying for it, you get 5 minutes into it, and rather than give it a fair shake, You just turn it off.
Sure.
If you went to the video store and rented this, you paid $5 for this to watch this movie. You sat and you watched it. That's how it was. And I think a lot of people, like myself, got their film education from video stores.
Absolutely, positively true. I know it is for me. I'm for Robert,
100%.
even Vanessa.
Yeah. I know what a blockbuster is.
Well, I think Wade is going to end up becoming like the new CEO of Atomic Video. We're going to get a resurgence in there. Maybe get some rights.
Beautiful props from this, and I understand with this, I could get one myself.
Yeah, you can go to atomicvideostore.com and fill out the form, and I'll make these individually as people order them and send them to you. They're actually replicas of the props that we're using in the movie, but the code numbers on the back are actually unique, and I'm going to have contests and stuff throughout the process as we're making the movie and fundraising and whatnot, so you can win prizes and get cool stuff like this lovely t-shirt that we're holding up here.
And you can find all that information down in the description of this video. Follow Shadoworks, available across all the social networking gin joints. You can also like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Stardust.
Yeah, all the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick into the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Gets us where we need to go. Check out the vlog that we did at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in Los Angeles. It was a hell of a time. Wade, we appreciate you so much for bringing all these.
To you, man.
Thank you guys.
I hate to put pressure on you, but next year, Friday is Friday Night Frights.
Okay.
Before Saturday's 31st.
Then
get on it, guys. Check out what he has to offer. Thank you, Wade. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Wade. You lessened the work for me this October. I really appreciate it. I look forward to Friday Night Frights. Thank you, guys.
And as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
This party is over. Bye.
Take care, everybody.